wanted to be on the show because you asked too many questions.
Can we agree that if he's real, he's a chicken?
Producers went from New Jersey
Does this look at all familiar?
to Nigeria to find him.
He may be real, but this check's phony. And the passport is fake. His eyebrows are drawn on. Let's do it. This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Catfish shows, the person we track down mysteriously disappears once they know I'm onto them. After we start our international investigation to discover their true identity. But in today's show, there have been several accusations made against me by the person we are investigating, whose name is David Olax Adams. And he has been very vocal, through his keyboard, of course, calling me a liar and worse. Well, later you'll hear exactly what he has to say. But first, let me bring you up to speed. 78-year-old Irina says that while she was on Facebook 3 years ago, she noticed a friend request from a handsome man, 20 years her junior, with the name, you guessed it, David Olax Adams. Now, Irina accepted the request, and from that day, she says he stole her heart by sending her flowers, love letters, and poems.
I've been dating David Olax Adams for 3 years online. I am in love with him. I do want to spend the rest of my life with him. I have never met him in person. We have talked via social media, text, emails, and cell phone. I was lonely when I met David. My kids work and I was separated from my husband. He showed me a picture on Facebook and he was oh so handsome. He's around 57 years old. I do like younger men, but normally not as young as David. Okay, I'm 20 years older than him. Sad but true. He was attracted to my young picture. I told him, David, that is a picture of me when I was younger. I was in my 50s, but it didn't seem to bother him at all. He has not seen a picture of me the way I am right now. At first, I questioned how a younger man could love an older woman like me, but he tells me all the time that he does. David sent me a beautiful bouquet of flowers, and he sent me a beautiful poem. You're the one I love the most. May we grow old and still have fun because I love you. I do want David to be my companion, but we will have separate bedrooms. He wrote me that he would like to wake up next to me, but I haven't been sleeping with a guy for so long that I don't even want to anymore. I do love David, and I would like to spend the rest of my life with him, and I will go to my grave loving him.
Well, Irina's son, Eric, and daughter Monique say they know David Adams, I keep putting quotes around it, is 100% fake, and he is a scammer, period.
There is no doubt in my mind that my mom is being scammed by this so-called person, David Adams.
My mom gets upset when I tell her that David Adams is a scam artist, and she won't discuss it with me anymore.
They also believe their mom has become David Adams' accomplice in an international money laundering scam, which has brought the police to the family home not once, but twice. It is important to point out that we do not believe in any way that the man in this photo is a scammer. We think this man's picture has been stolen. Now, Irina says she is desperate to prove her family wrong and has asked for my help to bring David Adams to her door.
David is from New Jersey. He owns an apartment. He was born in the Caribbean, and he's now an American citizen. David told me that he had a wife and a daughter that died in a car accident, and he has one surviving daughter. He does need my help financially. David went to Indonesia to buy materials to bring to America, and he even bought a boat over there. He ran out of money, and I lent him $1,000, but he kept asking for money. He ran out of hotel money. He needed money to go fly from Indonesia to America. David had a layover in Dubai, and he was arrested for having medicine in his luggage. I was hoping it was not Viagra. They put him in a camp till he pays $1,000. I sent him $1,000 for bail, but it took a long, long time for me to get $1,000. Afterwards, David asked me for money for flights to come home. When he was ready to fly to America, he was redirected to Dallas, where they thought he had Ebola. Since he spent a year in Dubai, they sent him to an Ebola center to be tested. I did go to Dallas, Texas. I never got to meet him. I have sent David over $76,000. I'm out of money, all my life savings. Now he is stranded in Nigeria for the longest time. He's staying in a church because he has no money for a hotel and or food. Now David asked me for $500. I don't have the money, so I'm trying to sell my collectible items so that David can have enough money to come to the USA. I do love him, and I do want to take care of him. I beg Dr. Phil to help me to bring him home. I will pay Dr. Phil all the expenses to get David back in America. And hopefully we will spend the rest of our lives together.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Same here.
Your goal is for me to get him here for you.
Yes, sir.
Your son and daughter don't believe he exists.
That's true.
They think he's a scammer, he's a phony.
He's going to prove them wrong.
How's he going to do that?
Once he's in the United States, of course, that's the only way.
Yeah. Only way he can prove it for sure is to show up and go,
Oh,
right? If he's real, I'll get the boy over here somehow.
I hope so.
If he's real. I can't get him here if he's not. If he's a ghost, if he's somebody, if he's a scammer, he ain't going to come.
He said that he don't trust you because he doesn't want to be on the show because you ask too many questions. Which is true. Right? And you do that.
Yeah, well, I do ask a lot of questions.
Yes, you have to.
Well, I do, because,
of course.
Listen, I have one interest here, and one interest only, and that's your interest. I have your best interest at heart. And if that's hooking you up with your new love, then that's in your best interest. That's what I want to do. If it's getting someone away from you that's taking advantage of you, then that's what I want to do. I just want to do what's best for you. And you did say you will fully reimburse me if I get him over here.
I will.
Because it could be expensive.
Yeah. How much?
Well, we'll worry about that when the time comes.
Okay, promise. Okay. Not too much, okay?
Well, let's see. On January 2014, he traveled to Indonesia on business.
Yeah.
Right? And then in May 2014, he traveled to Dubai and was taken into custody.
He asked for $100 extra to get some pills.
To get some pills?
Pills, yeah. And when he was caught, I said, I hope it is not dope, because I hate for a person to be on.
Who did he ask for $100 from?
Me.
From you?
Yeah.
And you gave it to him?
Yeah.
In August of 2014, he was admitted to Ebola screening hospital in Dallas.
Yes.
So he had Ebola?
No. He needed the paperwork from Nigeria to let them know, the authorities know, that he did not have Ebola.
Okay. Where were you when he was in Dallas? Okay,
California.
So you were here. You were in California when he was there.
Yeah. I told him that I would like to visit him and would like to see him.
So you did fly to see him?
I did.
You went to Dallas. Well, how did that go? Did you meet him?
No.
Oh.
I did not. I spent 3 lousy days in a hotel.
And no David?
No David.
Is he in love with you?
He keeps saying he is.
Well, when he left Dallas, why didn't he come here?
I wouldn't know.
How did he get from Dallas to New Jersey?
Guess who?
So you gave him the money to not come see you?
Guess so.
Then in March of 2015, he traveled to Nigeria with his lawyer. Who paid for that trip? Okay, so in December 15, we're getting close to now. December 15, he fell and hurt his head. He was hospitalized again.
Yeah.
And then in August 16, he attacked another passenger after he took his seat.
Yeah.
It was the last seat on the plane, and he got upset and attacked him?
Yes.
On a flight to the USA?
Yes.
Doesn't that sound fishy when you look at it all together?
No.
Okay. All right, Irina's daughter Monique and son Eric claim that David Adams is a complete fraud who has swindled their mother out of her entire life savings, which has left her facing bankruptcy and the police. Well, let's add into this conversation after the break.
When I first found out about David Adams, I warned my mom, if he ever asks you for money or personal information, watch out, it's a scam. She didn't listen.
She's lost her entire life savings.
And later, we got a guy that's taken your last dollar. He's now gotten you in trouble with the police. He's saying, trust me one more time.
Yeah. I fell in love with somebody that was nice to me.
How can you fall in love with someone you've never seen?
Tomorrow.
My daughter thinks she's pregnant, and she's not. She actually thinks her baby's Jesus. I am pregnant! And it is Jesus.
Mom claims her daughter's delusional.
Did you tell people you were on American Idol?
No.
Just now you said, maybe I was.
Some of her lies are Eminem was her dad. She donated kidneys to her half-brother.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
You are not a lie detector test, and you need to shut it.
Then on Friday.
Never have I seen a guest wrestling my staff members to the floor, trying to kiss my driver, grabbing a hotel guest in the pool.
I wanted to see if he had clothes on or not.
That's Friday. They are bred.
I want my kids to stop telling me that David Adams is a scammer. My children don't believe that he is real, but I know he is. I feel it in my heart, and I want my family to stop doubting me so I can focus on what needs to happen to get him back in America. My kids think that the producer from the Dr. Phil show was a scam artist because he had a British accent.
Hi, this is Carl calling from the Dr. Phil show.
They were wrong about him, and I hope they're going to be wrong about David. I want Dr. Phil to prove to my children that David Adams is real.
All right, 78-year-old Irina says that she's willing to go to the grave believing that David Adams, the handsome man that she met 3 years ago on Facebook, is real. Now, Irina says it hurts her when her son Eric and daughter Monique call her a stupid old lady and constantly tell her David Adams is a fake, a catfish, a scammer, and a swindler. Let's hear what they have to say.
There's no doubt in my mind that my mom is being scammed by a man claiming to be David Adams.
I have proven to her countless times that everything he has stated is a lie. I checked email addresses, phone numbers, hospitals, the residence he owns. Everything he had stated to her, none of it checked out.
When I first found out about David Adams, I warned my mom, if he ever asks you for money or personal information, watch out, it's a scam. She didn't listen.
She has lost her entire life savings.
I'm astonished that she would let it go this far.
Astonished? That's not the word I would use.
My mother is also lying to David Adams. My mother did not mention that she was still married. She's currently separated, but she told David Adams she was divorced. I told her, you're lying to him. What makes you think David Adams isn't lying to you? I'm very convinced my mom wants more than just companionship with David Adams. I know she wants to hook up with him. What really hurts the most is she cares more about David Adams than her own family. I lost my husband in 2015. I found him dead sitting on the couch, and I couldn't afford a funeral for him. She called me and told me within 2 to 3 days after my husband died that she had given all her money to David Adams, and it was a slap in the face. I hope that you stop having conversations with him and find out who and what he really is.
A scam.
A scam artist.
My mom texted me the other day stating that the Dr. Phil producers have more compassion for the situation that she's in than my sister or myself.
If Dr. Phil finds out and reveals to my mother that this guy is fake, my mother will be devastated.
Okay, I'm glad you guys are here. Now, there have been some messages, email messages, between Irina and David Adams concerning a work permit and funds. And y'all have seen some of these things,
no.
right? You've not seen this?
No.
Well, I want to fill you in on this because some of this is very recent. Irina, what are you going to do since there isn't anybody to help you? Could you ask a loan of $500 for a permit? That way you can get a job. Well, David says, honey, I have no one to help me. I only get provisions and food from the church charity committee. I need to get the permit to get a job. I saw many work, but no permit to get those jobs, honey. Irina says, I can try to save some money, but you know that I still owe the IRS and the state money, and I have not gone to trial yet about the bankruptcy. I'm kind of scared. Well, this David says, thank you, sweetie. You're the best, honey, and I will surely pay you back, my sweetie. I will get you all you want as soon as I get back to USA. You will take good care of you, my love. Kisses, David. So here's my question. What kind of man will take money from a woman who is dead broke and scraping dollars together to send him money?
I don't understand that either. I can sell everything I own and it still would not be enough.
He did want to prove to you he was working, so he sent you a check, right?
Yeah, he sent me 3 copies of his check, yeah.
So David Adams sent Irene a copy of a work check to prove he was working and saving his money to come home to the USA. When I look at this check, I see a big gap in between David and Adams. Then I come over here and I look at 12 in the date. And that font doesn't match that font. See, this font is this big, and this font
is that small.
Is this big. Does that bother you?
I wasn't thinking at that time. I didn't see it at all.
Well, that bothers me.
She takes everything off face value. No matter how many times you show it to her, she still won't look at it or see it.
Where it says, pay the sum of, this actually says only, but that's been whited out. And by the way, 230,000 naira is about $728.42 American, just so we know. Does that look fishy?
No.
Well, I got the...
I'm sorry, kids.
I'm sorry?
I said, I'm sorry, kids, but it doesn't.
Okay, well, I found an identical check online. And bottom line, this check is on the internet. This check is a form check that's been doctored. You see, this has this here, and this has this over here, but this one has all of these irregularities in it. He may be real, but this check's not. This check's phony.
If you can't talk about it openly and you keep it a secret, you must know you're doing something wrong. You trust him more
I know, babe.
than you trust us.
And later, I sent 2 of my field producers on a mission. One traveled to New Jersey. The other producer was in Lagos, Nigeria.
Every couple hours. I would rather feed my drug habit than my unborn child.
My sister. How could you do this to a baby?
It gets worse.
Right now, she is really high.
Stop the tape. You're either going to watch this and get in the game, or you're out.
I never had guilt or second thoughts after my first time with Amanda. She was about 12 years old.
Part of me knew that this was not the way that fathers love their daughters.
Your mother videotapes this.
Yes. How could you? Watch him do those things to me to participate, even.
He groomed you.
So did you. Let her talk. Amanda, you haven't seen your father since you were 13 years old.
You feel like you've done nothing wrong.
20 years ago, if these kinds of things were joked about.
Are you kidding me? Molesting your daughter was wink, yuck, yuck in 96? That is complete and utter bull. Why? He has hit rock bottom again.
Survivor Todd returns.
Are you trying to drink yourself to death?
I'm still living it, but I don't want to.
He's having seizures.
He had 12 yesterday, 2 today.
And 1 strikes during the show.
To close this page,
There are wire transfers that Irene
Click
sent
add
to David
extension
Adams.
to close
Here's
this
a timeline
page.
of the money that she says she sent to him over the
Click
last 3
add
years.
extension to
January
close this
2014,
page.
Indonesia, $2,700. May 14, Dubai, $8,146.50. August 2014, Dallas, $8,251.70. He went to New Jersey, $1,000. Singapore, $43.83.89. Then March to present to Nigeria, $40,000.
If you could sing a song, take a pill and don't get hurt because you've had to leave. You've had to change the heart. But now you're here to save the world for someone else too. Would you let your tears be in the middle of the night? Use my last you walk by, and then you said goodbye. What's it gonna take to make your cry? Please forgive me.
Then no receipts, don't know where that went, $11,358 for a total of $76,000. But you've never met the boy. If he's real, don't you reckon he could have taken $500 out of that $76,000 to at least come by and say, hey, thanks. Thanks for the $75,500. Can we agree that if he's real, at least he's a chicken?
No.
Come on. Come on. He took your money and didn't come see you? He's not a man. Would you do him that way?
No, of course not.
Okay, why not?
I have too much pride.
Yeah.
The situation was reversed, and I told you that I had given that amount of money to a man that I had never met. How would you feel about this man that you did not know? That me?
If you are happy, honey.
If you don't know if you're doing wrong or right, the one thing I always think is if you can't talk about it openly and you keep it a secret, you must know you're doing something wrong, because I was never told about any of this.
I know.
Eric and I have never referred to you as a stupid old lady. Never. Like I said, do me a favor, Mom. Just ask him to say, I have no money to eat. I have no money for food. Please, David, I need just $50 so I can eat. And what was his response to you? I don't have it.
I don't eat either.
I don't have it to give to you. And the only reason that we're here, Mom, is because we are so tired of you being involved in this person's life.
And I thought it was over with when I sent you to Texas.
You trust him more
I know, babe.
than you trust us. But you can trust this person you've never seen. How do you think that makes us feel about you and our relationship?
I was always hoping that he will come and then he will have that money and give it to me.
But when you
give it to you guys.
Okay, when you were hoping that, in your head were you saying, one day my prince will come?
Yes.
In a land far away.
I still believe in romance.
This is all a fairy tale,
Yeah.
Mom. It's just a fairy tale.
I know, baby.
This is the photo that Irina says she saw on the Facebook page of David Adams. Now, it is important to point out that we do not believe in any way that the man in this photo is a scammer.
Because
we are showing this picture in hopes that he may contact us. So look at this picture. We don't think this man is a scammer. We think this man's picture has been stolen. His identity has been stolen. Now, if that's not David Adams, then it's some innocent person whose picture has been stolen. Now, Eric and Monique claim their mom's involvement with this David Adams goes much deeper than love, and she has become involved in international money laundering, which is a criminal offense, an offense that has brought the police face-to-face with Irina not once but twice. So we need to talk about what that means next, because I don't want anything bad happening to you from that standpoint. We'll be right back.
I spent my life savings on David, and I have no money left.
She always said she was leaving her money to me, and my brother was going to get the house.
And I'm $17,000 in debt. I have a bankruptcy trial pending because of this.
I told her if you wouldn't have been sending David Adams all your money, you wouldn't have to file for bankruptcy.
I hope that with the money that David's going to pay me back, that I will get out of bankruptcy.
And later, his head is actually jammed up into the U.S. seal. His eyebrows are drawn on.
Arm & Hammer brings...
I'm extremely concerned that David Adams involved my mother in a money laundering scheme. One of his so-called business associates from England wired an extreme amount to her bank account.
In April, I received $36,000. I then transferred the money to David in Nigeria.
The police came to my house to check if she was of sound mind.
The police thought that I was being scammed. In my heart, I told them I do not believe that at all.
Well, today I'm talking with 78-year-old Irina, who has been dating 77?
1 year.
Okay, 77, she tells me, year-old Irina, and she has been virtually dating a man that goes by the name of David Adams. She says they became acquainted on Facebook 3 years ago, and even though she's never met him in person, she admits to sending him every penny she's got, her entire life savings. Now, her daughter Monique says she is adamant it's a scam. Irina's son Eric is concerned his mom has taken it further and has laundered money to David Adams in Nigeria. There are emails between Irina and David Adams about this potential money laundering very recently. Irina, David, I will give you an answer when I get the card and know a little more about that, but like I told you, I will not get in trouble again or have the police at my house, okay? David, honey, I had asked many times. John was out of state, and all he could do is send a credit card. Honey, please, you can just cash out $100 a day, and before you know it, enough to take me home. Honey, if it's okay, if you don't want to help me, you can send the card back to me, but it's my only chance to get me back home. I have done that over and over again, David. I'm scared, and I am so bad off. I know that nobody will help me, and if I keep this up, it's called money laundering. The police were called last time, so David says, honey, this time nothing will happen. You won't get burned, honey. Trust me this last time, sweetie. So we got a guy that's taking your last dollar when you're having to sell things and beg for money. He's now gotten you in trouble with the police before, and you're saying, I'm scared. I don't want to do this. He's saying, trust me one more time. Yeah. Just do this for me. Hypothetically, if he's real, what kind of man would do that?
I always thought guys were selfish.
That's not right, is it?
No, it isn't.
What? If I did that to my wife, what would you think of me?
Oh, I wouldn't like that, Eric.
So why would you expect it from somebody else that you don't even know? How could you?
Eric, I already, you know, the thing is, I was stupid, Eric. I fell in love with somebody who was nice to me.
How can you fall in love with someone you've never seen?
How can I fall in love with a movie star I've never seen either when I was younger?
You didn't give him all your money. You were lonely.
Not really.
You were lonely.
I do love people, and I do like to be loved.
I understand.
And I need to be needed also, which
sure.
My daughter says, you don't need to be needed, Mom. You don't. But I like that.
But there are people out there that will prey upon those that need to hear certain things.
Yes.
I think she's very aware that the world is full of people that do these things, just not to her. Not to her.
Yes.
Other people get taken by scams. Other people are naive, and other people are stupid idiots, but not her. She knows better. So that wouldn't happen to her.
When we come back, I sent 2 of my field producers on a mission. One traveled to New Jersey to knock on the door of the apartment David Adams claimed to own, the same apartment he promised Irina she could have. The other producer was a lot further away, on another continent in Lagos, Nigeria. I sent him to the address where David Adams currently claims to be. What happened when each producer arrived on location and knocked on those doors? We're going to find out when we come back.
We are in New Jersey. Let's go take a look, see if we can find anybody who might know David Adams.
This is St. Mary's Church, the son of Lagos. The address where David Adams told Irina he is safe. I'm going inside to find out more.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, Mom claims her daughter's delusional.
I am pregnant. My baby is Jesus.
Did you tell people you were on American Idol?
No.
Just now you said maybe I was.
That's tomorrow.
Closed captioning provided by...
David owns an apartment in New Jersey. It's not on his name, but it was on his wife's name.
I went and looked up the County Hall of Records to see who actually owned the property. There was no David Adams, nobody remotely associated with him.
He promised to give me his apartment if he cannot get to the U.S., but I will not take advantage of that.
Well, Irina says she sent her entire life savings to her online boyfriend, David Adams, a man who she says she has never met in person. Now, since David Adams says he has given her an apartment, we sent producer Jim Carr to visit the address in Bloomfield, New Jersey, that David Adams gave as his U.S. residence. Irina says he not only gave her this address, but also offered to give her this apartment. This is what the producer discovered.
We are in Bloomfield, New Jersey. This is the address that was given to the Dr. Phil show. Let's go take a look, see if we can find anybody home and anybody who might know David Adams. No answer at the front door. We'll try the side. We've tried both entrances. No answer. We are looking for David Adams. This is him.
I pretty much know everything that goes on in this neighborhood. I'm very nosy, and I have never seen him.
That guy does not live next door.
No, absolutely not. There is a guy that lives there by himself, but he does not fit that description.
And you've lived here for how long?
Probably about 11 years.
Let's take a look and see if any of the businesses within just a few blocks know David Adams. Ever seen this guy in the neighborhood before?
No, I haven't.
One of our guests has met this man online. He says he's stuck in Nigeria. Do you know David Adams?
No, I don't. You got a Matt and not David.
How long have you been here?
35 years.
Well, I finally was able to speak with the man who lives at the address where David Adams allegedly lives. He did not want to appear on camera. Do you know David Adams?
No.
Have you ever seen him before?
Been here 24 years.
He does not know a David Adams. He's never seen the man in these photos.
Nobody in the neighborhood, nobody on either side, and the man answered the door, has lived there for 24 years at that address.
It's all a scam.
It's not David Adams. Okay? So that's not real. So what happened in Nigeria?
Hello, Dr. Phil. This is St. Mary's Church. It's from Lagos. The address where David Adams told Irina he is staying. I'm going inside to find out more. I'm here to find out if David Adams, I don't know if you have ever seen him before.
This person, I've never seen this person in my life.
We don't have a shelter for homeless people.
We don't have that.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Okay, journalist Ben Izamalu is on the phone joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Tell us what you found over there, Ben. First off, is there a shelter there?
No. There has never been a shelter there.
So someone says that he's been going there, living there, staying there, waiting to get the money to come to the U.S. That would be a lie.
Of course.
Legitimate here, and you don't have to look very far. The P here is touching surname, which it wouldn't be. The face here is looking this direction, not straight ahead. His head is actually jammed up into the U.S. seal. It doesn't fit into the space. And I'm sorry, but if you look, his eyebrows are drawn on. Irina, we sent a man to New Jersey. He knocked on the door of the apartment that supposedly is yours. The man has lived there 24 years, never heard of David Adams. We sent a producer to the door in Nigeria.
He's not there either.
They've never heard of him. The passport is fake. I'm sorry to tell you, the man does not exist.
Thank you.
And
but I am a fool.
No, you're not a fool. You are not a fool. What you are is someone that had an emotional need and you were preyed upon by an international crime ring. I've enlisted the help of a top IT investigator to see if he could pinpoint the location where this David Adams was sending his emails from by tracing David Adams' email IP address. So Arthur Arguelles is joining me now on Polycom. Arthur, tell me what can be found out about these kind of people, and where is this person operating from?
It's actually very difficult to tell. The location was hidden through a very sophisticated layering system, and those ghost addresses are numbered in the thousands.
It's such an obvious scam. Everybody knows. It's a joke. You go out and you say, I went and got my nails done. Do you know my mom gave her money to somebody from, they go, Nigeria. It's like everybody knows this. Everybody knows
I showed her, my wife and I showed her the footage from you that showed it. They did it to her. It's going to you. No, not me.
Well, how did life turn out for previous show guest Barbara after learning the man she knew as David Chris Jr. was a catfish? We'll hear from her next. This is something I want you to hear. We'll be right back.
My family suggested that I watch Dr. Phil. The episode was about a woman that was being scammed. There were similarities between her situation and mine. Both men were named David. They were both stranded in Nigeria and needed money to come home. I emailed David about this. David was not happy. He checked out Dr. Phil's site and he found out that David lived in Michigan. I accepted his answer. I told David, I said, I'm a lot better looking than Barbara.
Closed captioning provided by... We've heard a lot about one of my previous guests, Barbara, today. Here's a quick recap from the last time Barbara appeared on the show.
When my husband died, I was completely devastated until I finally met David. David lives in Michigan. He was sent to Lagos, Nigeria for work. His wife was tragically killed in a car accident. David told me he was absolutely deeply in love with me. I have never met David in person. I have helped David out financially.
There is no house at that address. Nobody's ever heard of him. The phone number is not a real phone number. The entire thing is a fiction. David Chris Jr. doesn't exist. Well, joining us on the phone is Barbara. So tell me what's happened since I've talked to you last.
Well, I came home, I changed my phone number, and it completely devastated me, and it's very hurtful and painful, which is hard for anyone to understand unless they're going through it.
Right.
And I hope everyone takes your advice and listens to you, because I did, and it paid off.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. And you say that this David Chris Jr. did try to call you when you got back home from the show.
Yes, he tried, and I wouldn't answer, and I went straight over and changed my phone number.
All right, good for you. Good for you. Again, Barbara, I'm so glad to hear that you are doing well and that you've had people around you that love you and support you, and it's the same for you. Look me in the eye and tell me you know and understand this man is a scam.
Yes.
You totally get it.
Yes.
Okay? 100%.
Yes, sir.
You're going to change your phone number and your email?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Now, as a reminder, we do not